Is reading part of this journey for you? I mean, let's tend to books now. You love reading,
Yes, I really
and I've
love
asked
reading.
you to
To share.
to share
So
a couple of books. What books have you read that you'd want to share?
I've so many books that have changed my life, changed the way I see different things. But I'll just share about a couple of books today. So the first book is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen.
Small book.
It's a small book, but so much,
Powerful book.
yeah, really powerful, so much wisdom. And it just takes you through what it takes. Because I think as human beings, we look at each other a lot and we say, oh, this person has that. So why don't I have that? I'm better than them. So As a Man Thinketh was good for that clarification to say, we can't go into anyone's mind. And then the next book is The Slight Edge. I think that's Jeff Olson. And what I like about The Slight Edge is the whole premise of the book is it takes the rest of your life to fail. And success is in the small things that are easy to do and easy not to do. And they just get compounded over time. And it's so true that when you're younger, you don't notice it. It's only when you're older that you start to see the compounding effect. So when you're young, I'm sure we all know the compounding graph. So at the beginning part of the graph, it's quite flat. But there comes a point where that doubling every year, it becomes it's an exponential curve. So the person who's doing those little disciplines every day, they can enjoy that. There comes a point where the doubling is going to give them that exponential progress. But for the other person, they'll just continue, or maybe even go down. So that's The Slight Edge. And then there's...
I like that book. I think I'm going to
The Slight Edge.
Definitely going to get it.
The Slight Edge is an amazing book.
I'm going to read it, yeah.
And then...
The third book?
The third book is Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. A heavy, heavy read. But it's a brilliant book. So he talks about self-image and how the self-image and identity pretty much shape who we are in life. So when I look at my own life, there was my peers that I was talking about back at school, where they all dropped out of the music, and it's that identity that we are Black, so this is not something we can be good at. There's this perception Black people can't swim and all these things. So it's that identity, it's that self-image that we have. And if you change that self-image, then your life changes. So that book, Psycho-Cybernetics, was actually written by a plastic surgeon. And he just talks about how his patients would come, and he'd have one patient with like a scar across his head. And he got his scar from like maybe a sword fight. So for him, when he goes into the next fight and they see the scar, they're like, we're dealing with a tough guy here. But the other person also has a scar, maybe from a car accident, and he's a salesman. And he's like, I can't go and face my clients anymore because I don't look beautiful. But it's the same scar. So it's this concept of self-image and identity. And then he also introduces the idea of the success mechanism and failure mechanism, and what leads to failure, which is buying into the frustration, the fear, the disappointments that inevitably will come from life. Even if you did everything perfectly in life, there's this random thing about life that's just going to hit you. The pandemic, a car accident, something will come. And you can allow that to lead you to failure, or you can use that, reframe it, and let it put you on an upward trajectory.